Yes, good morning. Welcome to the regular monthly meeting of the Greenwich Board of Selectmen. Please rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Disconnected there.
Thank you. Sorry I cannot be with you today in person, folks. I'd much rather be with you folks. This is a regular meeting of the board. It's not a public hearing. The chair reserves the right to call upon an interested attendee to make a comment or pose a question on any matter before the board today. Naturally, I will rely upon those participating in person to tell me if there is anybody of interest who wishes to speak. Minutes, Barbara, I know that you've been inundated and we're working through those. Those will be available
At the next meeting.
right, or shortly before that.
Yes.
Okay, number 3, updates. Tuesday night, there was a public hearing on the recommended allocations for the Community Development Block Grant Program. This year, the town's receiving 2% more than the prior program year, which was 2018. There were several participating agencies in attendance at the hearing. The only real issue that is before us this year is that we are facing timeliness of expenditure for the Housing Authority. They've received a number of prior year allocations which have not been fully been expended. And HUD looks at this very carefully to determine whether or not the town is in compliance with the program. So the Community Development Advisory Committee, which is made up of representatives of each of the 12 RTM districts and then agencies that provide service and support to qualifying populations for the program, unanimously, after thorough assessment, decided not to fund the kitchen program, the kitchen replacements at Wilbur Pack, because they felt the Housing Authority had jeopardized or potentially jeopardized the town's overall allocation. So we did hear from Tony Johnson, Sam Romeo, and City about this, as well as Alexis Bulgaris. Alexis is trying to come up with a way where the Housing Authority could begin the project, because they do have $1.2 million, I believe, available to them to start with. And if they could phase it, perhaps they could qualify going into the next cycle. But I've received letters of support to accept the recommendations as the committee presented them. I received a letter from Lucy Krasner last evening, who requested that I honor the recommendations of the advisory committee. And so we'll be making the final determination sometime next week. But again, I want to reiterate my gratitude for all of these committee members who took the time to seriously evaluate these requests. And there were many, all two very worthy agencies that provide support to our vulnerable population. Last evening, Barbara, you feel free to interject because you attended. There was a meeting, the inaugural meeting of what is referred to as the MAT team, MAT, which is a community partnership with Greenwich Hospital, Yale New Haven Health, YWCA Greenwich, UGA, JCC, Breast Cancer Alliance, and the town of Greenwich. It is a program that will provide additional training for local health providers to recognize the early signs of breast and ovarian cancers. The program is being spearheaded by Greenwich resident Callie Weiger, who lost her mom at a very early age and has taken up the cause to incorporate this type of screening in regular annual doctor visits. So we certainly welcome and support anything that really focuses on prevention and wellness. Tomorrow is the annual YWCA Greenwich Stand Against Racism Day. This is a program that we've participated in as a town from its inception. It is critically important that as a community we stand with not only the YWCA, but as a community to express our values of tolerance and against any form of racism. This is taken on additional importance with the presentation of racial justice scholarships that go to students in our community who have written essays on the subject and are selected through the YW. So again, looking forward to hearing a large crowd there tomorrow. Over the weekend, several organizations are having events for which one we were asked to provide a proclamation. That would be the Greenwich Symphony Orchestra. They are recognizing longtime members and contributors of their board, Gail and Bob Lawrence. They have been very philanthropic and are integral part of this organization sustaining it forward through their financial support. In addition, the Metro New York Red Cross will be having their Red and White Ball, which will honor Lieutenant Victor Prego and former Greenwich resident, filmmaker Ron Howard, for their service to the country and community. On Sunday, the Greenwich Historical Society will hold its annual Preservation Award. This year, the town will be honored for its preservation of the former Greenwich High School, built in 1925, which is now at the town hall, and for the obelisk on Greenwich Avenue in front of the old post office with now Restoration Hardware. Finally, on Monday, the Historical Society will kick off its This Place Matters program with a ceremony in front of Town Hall at 10 a.m. Finally, just to share with both John and Sandy, I just got off a call with our Northwest Fire and GEMS professional team. We are in the process of completing the responses to the well over 50 questions that were presented to us as a result of the April presentation to the RTM. Those questions will be made available to all members of the RTM and the public, but are certainly designed to give each RTM member the information that can make the best decision for us to move forward in compliance in support of the sense of the meeting resolution. So my thanks to Chief Stasinski, Kick, Executive Director Sheetinger, and of course Ben Branyan and Blaze Leviton, for whom without their work this would not occur. So thank you to them. That concludes the update. Old business. Under new business, I understand we have with us our town assessor, Lauren Elliott, who is going to provide a public information brief regarding the 2020 revaluation.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. I'd like to tell everybody that at the assessor's office, we are resuming our property inspections for the 2020 reval. We've been doing this for the last couple of summers with very little issue. We have roughly about 16,400 dwellings that we need to inspect. Overall. We have done about 10,000 of those to date. So roughly we have about another 6,200 to go over the next 2 summers. The last 2 summers we did over 3,500 each summer, so we should be able to complete all of the inspections as required by the October 1st, 2020 date. This year in addition to our staff, our residential appraisers that I have in office, we also currently have one other gentleman from one of our vendors, one of the companies that did the last revaluation. He's going to also be out there doing inspections. Every every appraiser has an ID, whether they work for the town or not. Also, in addition, we have also notified the police dispatch and various town halls as to who is in my department, as well as any outside vendor or personnel that we're going to have. They will all be on this list. So if there's any concerns or any questions that come to these departments, I know a lot of them come to the Selectmen's office, you'll have a listing of the people that are from my office that are out there doing it. So hopefully we'll have another good summer. We'll get a majority of these done. We would like to get most of them done this summer. So if we can, we may actually hire a couple more personnel to get out there and get most of the 6,000 done this summer. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, one. Of the 10,000 units or buildings that you've looked at, how many were inspected inside and how many were just inspected on the outside?
About a third. We get into about a third of them. We don't get into a lot of them. In addition to our inspections, though, we also use other means. For instance, we use the MLS, and we use other means to find out and determine the interior information. We have our property record card. So basically what we're trying to do is just verify the information that we have. So anytime somebody's pulled out a permit, we've gone out there and we supposedly have checked it. So my assumption is that the majority of our information is very accurate. I think if it wasn't, we would know by now. But I'm pretty confident that the information that we have is accurate. I think for the most part, when we do go out there, what we need to do is just get an overall sense of the condition of the properties and what have you. And we can get a lot of that information and that from the outside.
Yeah, I was going to ask, and maybe you just touched upon it. What is it you're trying to determine? Is it the physical structure, the number of rooms, the number of acres or land that's involved? Is that it? The condition? What are you trying to ascertain?
So when we go out and we do property inspections, we already know the proper acreage. We in a mass appraisal, we are not as concerned about the landscaping and what have you that goes with that. What we're really doing when we're out there doing inspections is to gather information about the dwelling itself and any other structures that we tax. That being said, we've had these records for years. What we're doing is just verifying the information that we have. What we also want to do is we want to get a sense of, has anything been done that we may not have had a permit on, number one, or has the property changed significantly since the last time we were out there for one reason or another. And that's what we're basically trying to get by actually having boots on the ground and walking around each property.
So this has nothing to do then with market value?
When we get to the revaluation, we're just out there checking data, right? We're not actually getting out to the valuation portion of that yet. When we sent out the RFP for the revaluation and we've got the bids back, once we hire that company, then we'll get into the actual valuations of that.
But that's not now.
Right, that's not now. Okay.
Do you anticipate that different areas of the town will go up or down?
There will be a bit of a shift. I don't think it's as big as a lot of people project it to be. I think there is an impression out there. There has been some houses that have been at the asking prices were astronomical and they've come down quite considerably. The issue is that everybody seems to think that therefore that our assessments were that high. Our assessments weren't really that high ever. So we follow, our assessments are to follow what the real estate market is going to do. So by the time 2020 comes around, we should be able to ascertain what areas of town have gone up, what have gone down, but it's this year and next year that are going to be the real determinations, the determinative factors as to what's going to happen with our assessments.
Thank you.
Lauren, thank you very much. Hello?
Hello.
You're here.
All right, would you like to move into executive session now? I can call Wayne and the law department. to come in and give us updates on those two pending litigations, and then we can move into interviewing the 5 candidates for boards and commissions.
I would suggest that's the most efficient use of our time.
Okay. All right.
So I'll move that we move into executive session.
Second.
Okay, without objection, thank you.
We'll move that we approve the proposed settlement of the Gerdow versus Town of Greenwich lawsuit for an amount of $12,000 in total, of which the town will be responsible for $8,000.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Are there any other pending legal matters for action?
No.
No, there is not. Okay.
Okay, entertain a motion on nominations.
I nominate Carol Burns for the Commission on Aging
Okay.
for a term
Okay.
ending 6/30/2022.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What was your
Okay.
vote, Peter?
Aye.
Okay.
Nominate Dr. Andrew Bronin for the Board of Health. This is a 4-year term, so it would be 6/30/2023.
I'll second that. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nominate Thomas Sack for another term on the Alarms Appeal Board. And this is also a 4-year term, so this would be 6/30/2023.
Second.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And then the final one would be Richard Kaplan for Nathaniel Witherell. And
I'll move
Okay.
it.
that would be for a 3-year term. That would expire in 6/30/22.
Second, third.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
How about Carolyn Stevens to snack?
I'll nominate Carolyn Stevens to snack.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
And that is for a 3-year term.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, who moved it?
That's Sandy.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All in favor then?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, that's a 3-year term?
Yep.
8/20.
3-year appointment.
Okay.
And then I would entertain, if you gentlemen would indulge, that we designate Peter Crumbine as emeritus status for snacks.
If you need a motion, I so move.
Second.
Okay, thank you, without objection.
Peter,
That should,
May I move to adjourn? That's-
yes, we're good, yes. And enjoy the weekend, gentlemen.
You too.
And I look forward to seeing you on Monday, Sandy, for your special day.
Okay. Every day around here is special.
there you go.